Later. Hey, everybody, it's Gavin Newsom, Governor of California. I wanted to ask you about Prop 50, but before I do that, you raise a bigger question about, like, who will win in the midterms, to the idea that perhaps we won't have free and fair and open elections
we'll have
in 2026.
A Putin-type election.
How would you imagine that? Where do you see the sort of the breadcrumbs to that right now?
Well, I mean,
it's the ultimate fear is that you no longer lose you no longer have your democracy to be able to make change peacefully.
He knows he's going to lose the midterm elections. He's underwater, and he's weak in every category. Donald Trump is weakness masquerading as strength. He's weak in every key category. That's a fact, and I think it's an important fact. He knows that. And that's why he dialed not for votes, but he dialed for seats. He said he's, quote unquote, entitled to 5 seats. Called Greg Abbott, who was totally supine, said, yes, sir, and. Gave him the 5 seats in Texas to change the maps. He did the same thing in Indiana, Missouri. He's doing the same thing in Florida, likely Ohio, and we'll see what happens in Utah. And Democrats, we're gonna hold hands, talk about the way the world should be, say it's just so unfair, maybe write an op-ed. Meanwhile, this guy's consolidating power. And so for us, we decided to push back and fight back. But it's not just that. That's the tip of the iceberg, rigging the midterm election because he knows otherwise he'll lose. When we kicked off the campaign, and this is important for people to understand, when we kicked it off at the Democracy Center in Los Angeles, he sent out ICE and Border Patrol to intimidate folks from walking in to our event. He ended up arresting this poor soul that was just trying to sell strawberries as collateral damage to intimidate us. That is a preview, Stephen, of things to come in voting booths and polling places across this country. He federalized 4,000 National Guard in my state. He still has hundreds of federalized National Guard. He sent the United States Marines, not overseas, but to an American city, 700 active duty Marines. He sent the military to American cities to police American citizens. And the ICE issue is alarming beyond words. It is the largest private domestic army of its type, police force anywhere in the world. He'll have 30,000 people that increasingly appear to be swearing an oath of office to him, not the Constitution of the United States. Again, wake up to what's going on in this country.
Now, one of the things that you just did on that subject, over the weekend, you signed a new California law that bans ICE from concealing their identities, which is a great idea. And I'm just curious, I mean, there's all these reasons why you would want to do it for the population that is actually being policed by them. But what I don't understand, whenever I hear that they want to hide their identities, is why don't any public safety officer understand that they are safer by identifying themselves? Because America is a place loaded for guns, and heaven forbid anything should happen to one of these guys because they were masked, no ID, windowless van. That just looks like an attack for their own safety.
I couldn't agree.
Shouldn't these people show who they are and normalize their behavior so that people aren't terrified?
This is the worst part about it. I had deep empathy for these poor folks in the National Guard. These are, by the way, these are our neighbors. National Guard men and women are teachers, firefighters, paramedics. These were the folks that were helping us with the recovery in LA, being used as pawns. The same thing for a lot of these federal agents. I had deep empathy, to your point. We're losing confidence and trust in law enforcement. It's having an impact, a chilling impact across the spectrum for other local law enforcement agencies. Look, we had a 15-year-old disabled kid in Los Angeles who was waiting for his sister to come out of high school, and they pulled out guns on this kid. They pulled out guns and handcuffed this young child. That's happening in the United States of America. Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process, no oversight, zero accountability, happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic? Bull, we're being hyperbolic. If you're a black and brown community, it's here in this country. And so I'm deeply proud that I had the privilege of signing the nation's first bill to address the issue of masking. Also to require, you have simple identification, to your point. I mean, if some guy jumped out of an unmarked car in a van with a mask on, tried to grab me, I mean, by definition, you're gonna push back. And so These are not just authoritarian tendencies. These are authoritarian actions by an authoritarian government. You saw what Stephen Miller said last week. This should put chills up spine. Called the Democratic Party an extremist organization, basically a terrorist organization, saying he's going after his enemies. You saw the tweet that Donald Trump sent out, Truth Social, basically telling Pam Bondi, I want these 3 people taken out. That's happening in the United States. This can't be normalized. None of this can be normalized.
Well, Governor, thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it.
Governor Gavin Newsom, everybody. We'll be right back with Priscilla Presley.